Welcome back. We want to go back downtown to King 5 Ted Land, where a massive protest is underway. Ted.
All right, so just within the last 5 minutes or so, there's been a major escalation here between the demonstrators and the police here at 11th and Pine, with several flashbangs going off. I see a fire burning in the distance now, and I believe they fired some tear gas canisters up here on the crowd. There was this kind of standoff right at 11th and Pine, about a block from the Capitol Hill Precinct police station, where people were just a few feet away from the police, trying to get a little closer to them, when all of a sudden we saw some more police heading to the scene. We heard the explosions, and then people just started running, and they managed to push people back a little bit of a distance, but you hear some more explosions there as the police continue their tactics to try and get this crowd to disperse from here. Up until now, this gathering was mostly peaceful. I mean, they had been marching throughout the city, through downtown and then up to Capitol Hill. And we weren't seeing any kind of problems, any altercations. We saw one arrest earlier in the evening. Okay, all right. All right, so it looks like some fireworks went off, and some more explosions here as they try to get the crowd back. We're really not sure what this smoke is in the air, but we're going to try and keep our distance and step back. But still a few hundred people here gathered in the streets as the police try to push them back farther than they are. To give you a sense of where we are, we're right on Pine Street, next to Pike. This is where most of the marchers have gone, and police have been blocking off the streets around here. You know, it had gotten to the point about an hour and a half ago where it seemed like the demonstration had kind of run out of steam, and it had gotten a lot more quiet. They were doing some chants, and it wasn't sure really what would happen next. But then another part of this group met up with this group, and then within a few minutes was when we started hearing those blasts and explosions and some of the tactics from police.
Tell me what I did. Tell me I found it out. Very sorry.
And so, tonight, yeah, so we're just kind of keeping an eye on this to see what happens. It looks like people hadn't left yet. So are you one of the organizers? Yeah. One second here, Mark. What's your name?
Romulus Saunders.
He's one of the organizers. Just tell me what happened here. Do you know?
I'm gonna tell you what happened. There's some individuals right around us that are causing stuff. So we gotta be careful. You got individuals that want to start shit, and then the little kids just got hurt.
We don't want this.
We don't want this. You see that? You see that?
Group and
you see that? So there were some people that
were
caused this.
That caused this, and there are some people that caused this, and the little kids is getting hurt. If you see them guys with them hoodies on throwing them rocks, I'm not trying to talk shit, but they're causing us to hurt. They're causing us more pain. We don't want more pain. We wanted peace.
I don't think it's us.
It's not us.
It's not us.
It's not.
Thank you for sharing that. This is really not what they wanted to happen tonight. Throughout the afternoon, there was so much talk about how this had to remain peaceful, otherwise the messages would get really mixed up, and they kept hammering that home through their speeches and through their demonstrations and their chants, that if this needed to remain peaceful tonight, and with the turn it's taken in the last 10 or 15 minutes or so, this is really not what people wanted to see here.
Yeah, so our apologies. Obviously, PG-13, this is the language you're going to hear. Right. We apologize. Ted, give us an idea. There was a huge crowd downtown. Did everyone go up to Capitol Hill, or are there still people downtown? Do you know?
So that crowd downtown was the biggest crowd this afternoon. Thousands of people we saw in that massive march going through the city. Then they started coming up toward Capitol Hill, but I have to say, you know, when that curfew went into effect at 6 p.m., although that didn't require everybody to go home, it did cause some people to go home who didn't want to be out past the curfew. And so when that kicked in, hold up. When that curfew kicked in, I think the crowd thinned out a bit, and then as we got into the evening hours closer to sunset, it really dispersed a lot. There were two different groups, and then they met up together. So this is not nearly as big as it was before, but it's still a pretty sizable group of hundreds of people up here, Mark.
Ted, it sounds like they're deploying those flashbang grenades to disorient, to get people to clear out. Can you smell any chemical spray as well, Ted? Tear gas?
It's hard to tell. I can't. I am feeling a little bit of irritation in my throat, but we made sure to clear out before anything happened, and we keep. There's a big cloud. Whoa! Okay, there's another bang, and there's a cloud of potentially some gas over there. I'm seeing some people. Okay, I'm seeing some people who have it looks like tear gas in their eyes or pepper spray, and they're having to clean that out. And they look like they're in a lot of pain. So a variety of there's some fireworks there. Whoa.
Ted, give us an idea exactly where you are right now.
So we are just off Pine between 10th and 11th. So if you know where Cal Anderson Park is, we're very close to that. Let's back up here, guys. Let's back up. All right, yeah, so we're very close to Cal Anderson Park, and we're behind a restaurant here. It's kind of giving us some cover. But I'm seeing people scatter into Cal Anderson Park. Hey, bots, turn around here. If you get a shot over here, you can just see how big the crowd is. And really one of the most dense neighborhoods of Seattle, between Pike and Pine, on this corridor where there are so many apartments and businesses. And many of them already boarded up. But
very near the
now they're just dispersing throughout the city.
Very near the Century Ballroom there, Ted. This is a crazy scene.
Very near that.
It looks like people are throwing stuff at the police as well now.
I saw some rocks being thrown at the police, and the police are moving in. You see in the distance here. Guys, let's back up. Let's get out of here. The police are advancing down Pine toward downtown, into the area where we had just been standing along with a lot of other people. And they're clearly just pushing everybody back onto these side streets, and people are going. And there are, big clouds of gas, of tear gas coming this way. You're good. All right.